everybody. Oh, wait, my microphone's being weird. Hang on a second. All right, give me a second, guys. I gotta fix the mic. Hang on a second. I'll be right back, everybody. I'll be right back. All right, sorry everybody. Sorry about that. I had to fix something on my mic. Is it still being weird? All right, hold on a second again. I'm just gonna hide the. I'm gonna stay on, but I just gotta check something. I don't know why this mic's been doing this lately. All right. Check, 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 check. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I just needed to make sure that it was working. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. Been a minute since I did a stream because of just the schedule. And then, of course, Monday we got a holiday. But let me know in the chat if you're here. Hope everybody's doing well. And let me just make sure that I send a note to everybody. Feel all out of whack. It feels like it's been so long since I did a stream. I've been doing them obviously all the time in the community. All right, let me let everybody know that I'm live. All right. All right, just respond to a message. Just give me a second here while this loads. I'll wait for everybody to come in. Let me zoom out real quick too, so we can look at the whole day, and then I'll start charting again. All right. Give me a second. I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds to get into the price action just for everybody to get on. So just gonna just bear with me. I'm gonna reply to a couple of messages here while we wait. Let me know if you can hear me okay, and let me know how things are going. I was having a little bit of a mic issue before. Um, all right. Sorry, I had to reply to a bunch of stuff. Um, hey, Gate Zach, good to have you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Sorry about the lack of streams. It just has to do with my schedule. Basically, I took off on Friday and Monday. So Monday I had already planned to take off, but I had to take off last week on Friday due to having kids that were super sick, and it just kind of threw things off a bit. And then I'm here streaming today. I won't be streaming on Monday because it's President's Day. I'm just checking my calendar. But I'll be I've been streaming the other days, just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but just on Zoom for my school community. But anyway, I'm here now. I'm going to go through the trades. So this week I'll be streaming today, and then next week just on Friday on YouTube, because Monday is a President's Day and it's not really worth it. I need to check something here. Does the sound quality sound okay? I just want to make sure it sounds loud enough and everything's good and all that. All right, and then I'm going to get into the trades. So started off the day with kind of this range. Nothing really that impressive here. There were some huge candles because of the CPI data release. So you can see some big candles. This candle here is 76 ticks. So that was in the pre-market. And right after that, we had a move up. We didn't have a new high yet. And then we had this move down that gets a second entry long, but I don't think you want to take that. It's still in this downtrend. But then there is this higher low here. So I mislabeled this. I apologize. I meant to call this a visual. Let me correct this. Hold on. I meant to, my bad. I meant to call this a visual second entry long. So I'm sorry about that. Because this is technically a first entry, second entry long right here. And this is basically like a higher low. But it's like a visual second entry long, like a visual two-legged correction. So there's a couple things there. It's not a close outside new low. It's not perfect. It is off the EMA. Probably going to go try to get a high there, but it ends up not happening. So you kind of just have to let it roll. Nothing that great there. There is a second entry short here. First entry, second entry short. And you can actually draw a short-term trend line if you want, like this. But it hasn't made a new high still. I don't know. It's just, I didn't like it. Then you get a first entry, second entry long again. But I don't really like that either. It's just a little too tight in here. So I was just waiting for things to kind of give us some more conclusive stuff, because this is all kind of sideways right here. There's not really a consistent high or low necessarily. The low is somewhat consistent, I guess, but it's not great. There's another second entry long there, but again, I just don't really like that level, because it's kind of no man's land. I mean, you could argue, if you draw this, that this is a triple test and a second entry long, but I just don't know why you're going for that, because you don't have the new low made over here yet. You don't have the new high yet. It's just kind of tight. I just don't think it's worth it. Right into the EMA. So you got to wait. You get a down channel here, and then you do get this one. You get a first entry, second entry short. This one's nice. Signal bar is kind of funky. It just qualifies. It was a 13-tick bar. Closes in technically in the lower 1/3. It's just barely on the cusp. It's a lower high. It's a second entry short. You're expecting a new low there, so that's a good one. It's kind of this level though. It's like sort of there, so you got to be careful with it. But it does technically close below it, so I think you could take it. Runs to a new low, reverses. This moved on me a little bit. Let me fix that. All right. You get this real tight channel up, close outside, new high, and then another new high, and then this is technically a lower high. I went back and forth on whether to mark this as a trade right here. This is technically an equal high, so you could treat this like a lower high. I don't love it after a move that bullish. I think you're playing with some fire if you take it. I'll mark it, but I don't think it's great. It's basically just a lower high after two legs. Whoops. 2 legs to new high. So decent, but not ideal. Let's see. It runs down, and then you do get one here, a first entry, second entry short. That one is nice. That one's nice. What time was that at? 6:52. Sorry, I just want to check something here. Where is it? Yeah, that one's decent. I was just, sorry, I had to check something real quick. Okay. All right. So anyway, decent one. Decent one. It's just an equal high there, though. So those can be a little bit funky sometimes. And this channel's not super reliable, but it is rejecting the EMA. You probably are going to get a new low there, and it does. And it's just choppy, just nasty, choppy stuff. I don't really see anything good here. Traps and stuff, but nothing really that great because you're in no man's land. You're not near the highs. You're not near the lows. You're sort of in the middle of nowhere. And at this point, it looks like a big old range. And you got to be real careful taking trades in the middle unless there's something really, really specific happening. And there just isn't. You know, a lot of this stuff sets up inside these channels. There's a second entry short here, but it's inside of this channel. There is a lower high here, but it's already moved too far. And then you get the second entry long with the higher low, but that's moved pretty far as well. So I don't think you want to take any of that stuff, even though somewhat tempting. This goes higher and gives you a first entry short, second entry short that fails, makes a new high. And then you do get this lower high, and that's also a triple test. If you zoom out here, you tested it once here. This is a break above, but you tested it once here. Second time here, even the equal high there, and then you test it here, and then you get a lower high. It's kind of a triple test. It's not quite the range high that I was looking at, but it's decent. Let me see. What, Hassan, BTC in a bear trend? Well, I wasn't looking at BTC. We're looking at the ES right now. Let me take a look. I'll pull it up on my phone. And then I can look at it on the chart after. Let me just see. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You got a down channel there. You definitely got a down channel there. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can just look at that. There's lower highs, lower lows getting made. But it's finding some support, so who knows? All right, so anyway, this thing comes down. Close outside. New low. I can take a look at BTC if you want a little bit. Just let me know in the chat if you want me to look at it. So Hassan, let me know if you want me to look at BTC on like a larger chart after. And after I go over this price action, I'll take a look at it. So just let me know in the chat if you want that. And Lucid, you asked, do I have any advice on why you only notice setups after they're already happened, but not while they're happening? Yeah, I mean, most of that is, yeah, you answered your own question. Most of that's going to be screen time. Most of that is just going to be experience and screen time and spotting it live. There's really no substitute for watching the market live printing. There's no substitute for it. You have to put the reps in and put the time in for it to really start to show up for you properly. So, yeah, there's no substitute for that. No substitute. Okay, so let me see. All right, so next we come up, we get a close outside, new high, reverses, and then you get a first entry, second entry long failure. I liked this one. I liked this one in real time, and I took it. You don't really care as much about the signal bar on a failure. I thought this was a nice setup here, so it was on the cusp. I did take this for an 8-tick scalp. My runner immediately got stopped out, but that's okay, because this bar, even though it looks like it dumped, it actually dumped down and reversed back and then dumped down again, so it stopped out my runner. But I had a nice trade there, so that was a good one. Then it bounces, it close outside, equal low, so new lows made, moves up. Nothing really that interesting there. Second entry, no setup. And then now we're here. So now we're going higher. I have this wide channel drawn here. You know, you can clearly see that we're trying to go higher. Originally, we had this kind of rangy type thing, but it doesn't really look like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to continue higher. So we're going to stick with that. And what we can do here is chart this 2 ways. Whoops. We'll chart this 2 ways. Because if you draw it from here, it's going to look funky, right? It's going to look like you're already getting a close outside new high. It doesn't really fit. So what I think we have here is a spike in channel within this larger context of this overall bullish bias. So to me, it looks like this. And then we can draw from this low, and we can maybe draw. I thought maybe a spike in channel was going to fit. Not really looking like it. So we can still probably draw it. It's probably a close outside there. Probably like that, close outside. And now we got to wait and see. Let me see if there's any trades in here. I haven't had a chance to look at this yet, so give me a second. Close outside, new high. There is a equal high, so this is like a second entry, but you already have the new high, so I wouldn't take that. When you have the confirmed spike in channel, yeah, to be honest, I don't see any setups in here. Nothing that looks good to me. This is technically kind of a second entry, but sort of a janky one, so I don't like it. All right, let's take a look. All right, let me see here. Okay, so all right, Love Trill, you ask, can I take a lower high below the EMA during TR, or has it already moved too far? What? Wait, what is TR? I'm not. What does TR mean? I don't ever use TR, so I don't know what you're actually saying there. I don't think I ever say TR. So what do you mean by TR? Okay, while we're waiting for his answer, Hassan, let me pull up BTC. Give me a second to get the chart pulled up. Hold on. Oh, okay. He's talking about trading range. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't familiar with the acronym. I'm like, what is he talking about? What is TR? All right. Give me a second because I'm gonna pull up BTC on here too. No, I don't think he meant ATR. I don't think he meant ATR because he said, can you take a lower high below the EMA during TR? So maybe he meant during a trading range. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest. I don't even really understand the question. So if you're in a trading range, the EMA doesn't matter as much. So I don't really know. I'm going to wait to see some elaboration on the question, and then I'll be happy to answer it. All right, here's BTC. Daily chart? Are we talking about daily charts here? So this is a daily chart of BTC. Here, let me move myself. Hold on. Here, you know what? Let me move myself over here so I'm blocking all these stupid ads that they're trying to put on the screen. There we go. I'll block the ads with my video. They keep trying to put ads on the screen. I don't pay for TradingView anymore because I don't really use it that much. All right. 4-hour chart. Okay. Yeah, we can take a look at the 4-hour. All right, here's the 4-hour chart. First thing I'm going to do is zoom out and just take a look. So here's all-time high. So let's do this. Let's draw. Forgive me. It's been a minute since I've been using TradingView, so forgive me for being a little slower with it. I used to use it a lot when before I was using NinjaTrader like pretty much all the time. All right, so I'm just gonna plot this real quick, and then I need to expand this. All right, so we're gonna plot a huge channel here that goes all the way to right there. And then this will be the downside of it. Something like that on the 4 hour. Something like that. And then it stayed intact. So let's actually go a little further. About there. Close outside. New low. So, all right. That looks pretty decent. I'm going to zoom back in a second and zoom. I'm going to change the zooms in a second. So just bear with me while I plot this because it's been a minute since I used it. All right. So this is kind of a separate channel like that, I would say. There's also the possibility that there's something flatter in play. We'll change that in a second, like that. That actually fits okay. So I'm going to change the colors of this one. We'll make it like, we'll go with yellow. Ugh, gross. Here, we'll go with this like sort of greenish color. Okay. And then what we're going to do with that one is draw a spike like this. Okay. Yeah, gate, there was actually a decent amount. There were some solid days. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday there were a ton of setups, amazing setups. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. You're not in the, I don't think you're one of the members of the school community. So I don't know. You wouldn't have seen my chart, but there was a lot of setups this week, I thought. But I think it started off slow. I think the week did start off somewhat slow, although I wasn't trading on Monday because I took a vacation day. But I thought it was a great week, actually. So, all right, let me take a look here. So, this is the 4 hour chart on Bitcoin. This is the all-time high right here. Here, if you want, I'll put a line here. My magnet tool wants to behave. That's the all-time high, that white line right there. All right. Usually I like to change the color. I like to make it pink. And can I make this thing? Whatever. Good enough. All right. That's the all-time high. And so what happened here was we came up to this all-time high. Now, what we really need to do if we're going to analyze the 4 hour chart is take a look at the previous trend. So we have to go back and see, did the up channel play out, right? Now, this is a really zoomed out chart right now, but I need to look at it to see, did the 4 hour, yeah, that's probably from there. So let's check from this swing low here. We need to find out, did it play out? So we'll pull this low. From over here. And we'll zoom in. I'm just going to draw it to right there for now and just see if that fits anything. See, that doesn't even fit. So that's not right. I think we had a trend line that was more, it's not wanting to turn off magnet. Stupid thing. All right. TradingView just sucks compared to NinjaTrader, to be honest with you. All right. All right. Yeah, Lucid. I thought that there's been some great trades, definitely. All right. So there was a trend line here that gets a close outside. Never got a new high until there. So trend line played out. So uptrend, close outside. 2 legs up to a new high, perfect price action, reversal. So new high's been made. We don't have to worry about that too much. If you want to look at a wider channel, I don't think it really fits. I mean, I don't think that you can really argue for some ridiculous thing like this that was happening. I really don't. Maybe you could draw from maybe down here, something like this, and argue, but I don't think so. I don't really think you can make the case. So what I would say here is that, and if you look at the lows, it's not quite the lows of this area. So it wouldn't surprise me to see us come down and test these lows. I would really not be surprised at all to see Bitcoin come down to that 53, maybe 50K level. Maybe even come down and break into this like 48, 49 level. And I would not be surprised in the slightest to see Bitcoin even break below 40 and come down into like 38, like this sort of zone, 38,000 or so. I would not be surprised to see that happen before this is all over. So uptrend had played out, so we have a downtrend in play. So what I would be looking at here is like this. There's a possibility of this wider channel, the purple one, that gets a close outside and it moves to a new low. And that has already happened. So that first purple channel has played out. Now we could be forming a new channel altogether here, this newer purple one that I just drew, right? This could be a newer channel. We could also have a spike in channel. This is a spike down, close outside, and then it moves to it, and then there's a little up channel there, close outside, new high, and then it creates this sort of flatter channel. So we might be in a downward spike and channel pattern right now, which is just, a wider, like flatter trend. And that could be what we're in with this level, but we don't have a third confirmation. So what we would need is a third confirmation on either of these trend lines for me to really say that either one of these is in play. So the challenge right now is that new low has already been made on this channel here. So that's done. But we don't have a third test. I like to have 3 tests. So I would consider this like 1 test, even though it's 2. I'd consider that 1, 2. We need a third test of this top level for this green channel to be in play and to be for sure in play. Now we might not get it. We might do something like this, and it might take a long time for it to happen. But that would be what would confirm it for me, is if we get this level right here. Now, the other thing that could happen, though, is we could come up and reject right here, right here. And then if that happens, well, then we have 3 touches. We have a 1, that's not a 2, a 2, and a 3. And then I would say that the purple one could be in play, and that could be what we're running. So it's a tough one to say right now because we need more price action. And that's how I'm looking at it. Now let's go to the daily real quick, because I really think that the daily is going to be more important here. By the way, are you still following? Is this making sense, what I'm saying? Is this making sense? Let me know. I want to make sure that I'm not, usually I don't do this much Bitcoin analysis, so I want to make sure that everyone's following here. But price action works on everything, so it's still worth analyzing. But look at that. That is brutal. I mean, if you draw just a trend from up here, I don't have the magnet on, so it's not going to be perfectly accurate, but I'm just going to show you. There's a clear down channel in play on the daily chart, like pretty clear. We're probably going to get a third test there. Probably going to get a third test of that channel to confirm if it's really going to stay in play. If you draw even like a super long term, nah, that doesn't work. So we would probably draw from like one of these lows over here. There's really no way to draw this that makes any sense. Yeah, there's no way to draw that. I mean, you could maybe draw from here. Yeah, even there, you get the close outside right here and it moves to a new high. I mean, there's no real way to draw this. There's no way to draw a channel that fits without proving that the up channel already played out. So I'm looking at this as we're probably going lower for sure. I mean, I'm thinking, yeah. And this is down channel on the daily chart that's clearly in play. And so what I'm thinking here is the same thing. 1, 2 touches. So what I'm thinking is if we do this and we get a third confirmation, then look out below, fam, because we're going. That's how I'm looking at it. So we'll see if that happens. But we don't. It remains to be seen. I mean, if you try to measure that, I mean, this could take, that could take 27, 26 days. That could take a month. That could literally take a month to get there, to get to the trend line. It could take less. It could take like 3 weeks or so, but that's a long amount of time that it could take to get to that trend line. So we got several weeks here that we're going to be messing around, and we could easily, it could grind up for 3 weeks and then just completely dump like that. So yeah, 3 touch points matter in everything. So I'm going to close out of Bitcoin now, but three touch points matter in all trend lines for me. Yeah, for sure. And remember, it can move steeper, so it depends on how steep it moves, right? In the short term to get there. But 3 touch points, for me, 3 touch points are, man, hold on, I moved everything the wrong way. Did not mean to do that. Annoying. Hang on, I gotta I gotta fix my screen real quick. Technical difficulties. I didn't mean to move it where I did. Let me see if I can fix that. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix my... where is it? I think it's this. Okay. I think that's about where I usually have it. Whoops. Does that look like how I had it before? Does that look right to everybody? My bad. I'm trying to very slightly adjust this thing, but hang on. I accidentally moved my screen wrong, so I'm trying to fix it. I think that's good enough. I don't know. That looks right. That looks fine. I just want to make sure the timestamps are still showing up. I think that it's good though. I think it's good. Okay. All right. Let me make sure. I feel like I might have missed some. I might have missed some comments. So give me a second. Let me go back. Okay. Lucid, you were saying. Yeah. The trend channels moving by themselves is definitely annoying. Hang on 1 second. I gotta go check something. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss any. Yeah, and Lucid, yeah, the Ninja Trader channels, they will move, but I figured out how to deal with that already. It's all about making your trend lines way bigger and longer, I mean. Sav, good to have you here, fam. Good to have you. All right. So let me take a look here at this price action. Yeah, we are still grinding higher, so it does look like this up channel seems to be in effect. We had a close outside new high there, and it's going higher, so we'll see. We'll see. We might get one of those Friday rallies after that huge sell-off that came in yesterday. Well, look at that thing. Crazy how steep that thing. Wow. Just incredible. That move was incredible. So we'll see what we get. All right. Any questions? Put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. All right, check some messages here. I'll wait and make sure that there's no questions. And we'll let that price action play out. It's real tight here, so you got to be patient and let this thing see if it's going to continue. But while we're waiting, I'll wait for, I'm going to check a couple of messages here on the other side. All right, let's. Okay. All right. All right, my bad. I had to. Oh, no. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, Hassan. You're welcome. All right, Gate, you said you took the second entry. This? Whoa, no way, pal. This right here? Are you talking about this one right here? This candle right there? I hope that's not what you mean, because I would not be taking a trade right into the high of the day like that, especially with a double top there. I would reset the count there. That's a little congested. I mean, hey, if it works for you, great, but no, I would not be taking that. We already got the close outside new high, so I don't really see a reason to take a trade there. Hey, Sean, you're welcome. I appreciate you, fam. Have a great weekend, Sean. All right, let me make sure. Here. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm just dealing with something real fast. Making sure. Okay. All right. Sweet. Now you said, how important is the EMA in my trades? Good question. So let's just talk about this by going back to some of them. So in a trade like this one, it was somewhat important because it was a bounce off the EMA and we were holding above the 21 EMA. So it gives you a little bit of extra confidence to go long there. Over here, first, second entry short, below the EMA, gives you confidence to go short. This one, going short above the EMA, gives you confidence that if you take it, you can probably ride it back to the EMA. This one, below the EMA, gives you extra confidence. This one, above the EMA, but you're going to ride it back to the EMA. These are like mean reversion trades on a range up here. These are range trades. So it's more so like the EMA is almost a target on those ones versus an extra confluence. Same thing here. Failures, if we're below the EMA, go short, you know. So it comes in handy. I wouldn't say it's the be all end all. I mean, I honestly can trade without it. Like I don't actually need it on my chart to be effective. So that's something to keep in mind too. Like it's useful, but it's not like I mean, if I took the EMA off, it wouldn't really matter. So if that helps, it just understand it's a secondary confluence, right? It's a secondary confluence. Sometimes it's helpful if you have a runner, gives you like a way to trail your runner, things like that. It's really not that important overall in the grand scheme. Yeah, I mean, all within context, right? So if you think about it like sometimes I'll take a short above the EMA because I'm following the trend line rule and the range high, right? So if we're in a range like over here, this is a triple test and a lower high off the top of a range. So you're taking shorts off the highs of a range. So being above the EMA doesn't matter. In a way, it's a good thing because it means that there's room back to the EMA. It's like a mean reversion. Because when you're trading ranges, you're basically trading based on mean reversion, right? You're trading. You have a high of a range, and you're gonna short off the highs, assuming that you're gonna go back towards the middle or bottom of the range. And when you're longing off the lows of a range, you're assuming that you're going to go back towards the middle or high of the range. So a lot of times the EMA is sideways in a range anyway. And so you're going to short above the EMA and long below it. Now, in a trend, when you're in a trend, it's different because in a trend, you're looking for pullbacks to the EMA and then going long. Like here's one, pullback to the EMA. Now, this isn't one I'd take because you already got the close outside new high. But this is an idea, like, right? You see us pulling back to the EMA and then bouncing. So you're taking trades off the EMA with the same direction. So it's different rules in a trend versus a range. Not necessarily, Hassan. I mean, it definitely is a area where like things are getting battled out, but it's just buyers and sellers dry up at certain levels. So if it's a tight range, then yeah, it's like a spot where the price is getting discovered and it's going to end up going one way or the other. But in a larger range, it usually means that the buyers are drying up at a certain part and the sellers are drying up at a certain part, so it reverses that zone. But I mean, it doesn't really matter either way. All we're doing is trading based on the rules. We don't care too much about the overall, what's actually going on there, because if we knew that, then we would be outsmarting the whole market and we would be not even really needing to read the price action that well because we would just know. And that's the thing, like we're not really like even in a trend, I always say like trends will go further than you think. Ranges will only be reliable for so long. They eventually break, of course. And so we just follow really specific price action rules to stay on the right side. But once the rule plays out, you have to wait for the price discovery and then the price action to form something new for you to follow. So, like, for example, right here, you got this up channel, you get a close outside, new high, another leg to a new high. So, up channel has all played out. So we need to be careful here. We maybe need to come down and form a bounce on this channel for this to confirm the wider channel. But overall, we need to be aware of the fact that we need more price action to determine what's going to happen next. If it keeps making higher highs, higher lows, then yeah, we'll look into a wider channel. But there's not enough price action to determine that now. So we have to be patient before we take anything. This is an area where I can't really take a trade yet. I need more stuff to happen first. Like I need to establish a range or establish a trend or whatever. Lucid, so in an uptrend after a break and new high, what do I do? Failed second entry long or triple test lower. If it's an uptrend and we get a break and a new extreme, I don't typically short right away or anything. Maybe if we get a new extreme and a lower high that's also off of a range high, then I'll go short. So it really depends on a lot of factors here. Like it depends on if there's there's a lot of scenarios. Like you can have an uptrend within a range that gets a close outside, moves to a new high, and the new high touches the top of the range, and then a short would be really nice, right? You get those sometimes. If it's like it depends on what type of day it is. So if it's a range day or a trend day. If it's an overall trend day and we get a close outside new high and an uptrend, I'm not going to go short because I'm going to assume that the uptrend might continue but just flatter. So I'm going to wait and see. So it really depends on a lot of factors. Like I can't really give you one size fits all because it's context dependent. And that's all the stuff I teach in the course. Like it's all context dependent. Like it requires a lot of nuance and understanding and studying. All right. Now, the midline of a range is not an area that I typically take trades off of, but it can be useful as a target for a runner if you're in a runner, as just like a place that maybe either take profit or tighten up your stop or whatever. It's not really a reliable level to trade off of typically, though, most of the time. It really mostly just helps you see because it's like mean reversion. The market comes back to the midline a lot of the times, but that doesn't mean that it's going to bounce there. It just comes back to it. Might get stuck there for a second and then just keep going lower or whatever. All right, all right. I forgot to mention, I've been putting out some more psychology content, trading psychology stuff. So if anybody is wanting to see any of that stuff, I'll put a link in the chat real quick. I've been putting out some more psychology stuff. It's really more NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, not exactly about trading, but just about everything. And I think that it'll help a lot of people. So I'm going to put that in the chat. And that's my other thing. That's Man Rewired. And I have my other YouTube channel for that. Free school community, free courses. I just released a new free course in there. So if anybody wants to check it out and join, it's a group for men to focus on neuro-linguistic programming. So that's all there. But obviously the YouTube channel is open to anybody. And you can check that out too. There's a link to it in there. So I just wanted to share that in the chat just for those of you that are interested in checking out my other stuff that I've been working on. With trading, I just do the live streams these days. I probably will release some more trading videos at some point soon. But for now, I've just been doing the live streams and kind of just doing it like that. I'm going to wrap up here, everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend and hope you had a great week. I will see you all on YouTube next week on Friday. Everyone else, I'll see you all. Well, obviously, I'll be checking in school and answering questions whenever you ask questions, but I'll be trading again on Tuesday. So I'll see everybody in school on the Tuesday call. So thanks for being here, everybody. I really do appreciate you all. And I will see you all soon.